So I haven't done live show in a while, but I decided to go live. He called me a bitch boy and this and that, and show my face. Well, I mean, here it is. I sent him a thing. I'll even send him a link if you. Yeah. Oh. Oh, so Jesus Christ! I got that delay, and I heard it over the thing. Man, that was harsh. Jeez Louise. Hopefully, hopefully that didn't get heard too loud. But yeah, man. I mean, here I am. I'm here. Probably like I said, nobody listens to my shit anyway, or hardly anyway. I'm just here spouting. I'm here resisting the best I can with a limited resource, limited knowledge. I just know abuse when I see it, and wokeness is abuse. Wokeness, again, and I'll say it again, promotes white guilt and racial abuse against whites. We can live almost anywhere in the world. We can live in Asia. We can live in parts of Latin America. But wherever woke leftism is promoted, that's when they come get you. And it's promoted throughout the West, and it's promoted throughout the Anglosphere. I mentioned what happened in the UK with the grooming gangs, where English girls were assaulted by primarily Muslim Pakistani men, and the powers that be did not report on it because they were interested in basically not stigmatizing Asians. The Asians that live are the Muslims that live in the UK. And I believe that's to be documented. And I think we should actually have an investigation on that. The world should have an investigation on that, because if that kind of abuse is happening, then it's really bad. And again, South Africa, Zimbabwe. I ask people, what's the difference between South Africa and Zimbabwe? You know, all about hatred of you as a human being, the way you live, who you are. I mean, hey, man, if they don't even want to talk about the fact that you are assaulted in the worst possible way in the UK, what else do you think they don't want to talk about? The leftist media and the leftist establishment that's in charge. And again, we were talking about this, the meme that I have up here. I don't know how it points out, but you see the ocean go back over there. Meaning, because you whites, you conquested America, because the natives came on foot by the Bering Strait. The whites came by ship. When they met, there was conflict. The whites, the Europeans, won that conflict. And none of us were there, but some of us still live in the past. And I'm doing a show right now. My partner's calling me. Shootsy Pootsy. And I'm doing a show, so he can come join if he wants to. I don't see anyone in the chat, so let me see if I can send this man a link. He did call me, and I'll send him a link. Oops, that hits again there. And I'm doing it now. I'm doing it live. And he's asking for the link. So here it goes, man. Here goes the link. So I had a few glitches that came in today, and that's all right. So I've sent him the link. And yeah. I don't know if anyone has anything to say or add to what I'm saying, but again, this Indian dude, this Native, not Indian anymore. They call them Native Americans or indigenous. He's a bit of he strikes me as a bit of a sadist, a woke sadist who he wants obedience. And I'll just go over, Joey, what happened. I was basically commenting on this. You see this page. You see the ocean go back over it, and me and this so-called Native American. He's also, I guess, a Marine Corps veteran. We kind of got in a tussle on Twitter, and basically that was the first thing that he said.
Sounds like two ignorant buffoons.
Well, that's your opinion, Joey, and you're entitled to it. I think you're the ignorant buffoon, but you could join this Native American.
All Americans, dude. Every one of us. If you come from Canada, do you know that they too are Americans? And if you go down south to Mexico, that those are all Americans. You do know that, right?
Yes, I do.
And we're all natives. So what are these feathers doing? What are they telling us?
Well, the discussion was over the border crisis, and we're getting a boatload of illegal migrants.
Haven't we seen this coming though since we were young? This has just been ready to happen. That people are going to wake up and realize that we ourselves are each. This is our world. It was always people before government. So it's always just been a matter of time before this so-called crisis would occur.
So you don't believe in a border?
What are the borders telling us? What do they do? What America right now is the bad guy. Look what they've done to Libya. Look what they've done. I mean, there's countless countries that were thriving that was just broken down financially. For what? And it makes me wonder. Go look at. There's this chick who rides a motorcycle all over the world. I got to find the name of that podcast. It's slipping my mind. I will get it and I'll link it here at some point. But she's currently like riding her motorcycle through Africa, and so what I've gotten out of this is just how lazy Americans are. They're just the laziest, most hurt. All we want is a safe, an opportunity to work hard. That's what those people want that are there. They want a place where they can work hard and to get to the market. That she's riding through these roads that are just like there's trucks everywhere, all stuck in the mud and unable to. There's like all these. It's really educational actually to watch what her experiences are and just to show how many people you see in certain parts of the world where they are walking tremendous. And they're doing so much work just to get the basics out of life, and it's pretty sickening when I think about how disgusting and how over and this might not be so popular, and there's a lot of explanation behind this, but how over America is. I mean, it's just a dead idea, and it's sinking and being pulverized uh, with intent. I will add that the system is being allowed to for every increment that you see Bitcoin or crypto coins jump up, it's telling you that that's just the dollar getting weaker.
Well, every time, for the most part, the stock market and crypto seem to be on the same sort of path. But again, Latin America is importing its poverty.
By the way, that's not true at all. The dollar, comparatively speaking to currencies all over the world, is plummeting. So I don't get what you're saying. What are you saying right there? Cryptos are taking off, and they're just getting started.
I'm saying that the stock market and crypto often, when the stock market is up, much of, at least my crypto is up. But when the stock market is down, crypto seems to go down as well. I'm just saying that's what I've noticed on average, not 100 percentile,
Or with the
but on average.
market. Yeah, well, that might be true in some ways, but definitely not in the way we think. The average person isn't able to even buy stocks. So when those people, when the price of gas and inflation hits hard as it's hitting, those people can't turn. Most people can't turn to some growing stock account, but people with the means can offset the price of gas by investing in oil companies and profit off of those. So when they go to the gas, fill up their cars with gas, it's not affecting them at all in comparison to the average schmo who's putting more and more of his failing dollars to play. As we move to a I think we are they call it a risk off environment, a risk on environment right now, where we're seeing like a lot of money being poured into the market, but as soon as some of these other systems start failing, that the market's gonna fail epically hard, biblically hard. But anyways, that's a whole nother discussion. So back to the Indian. What happened here? So what was the argument like? And did he shoot you in the back with an arrow?
None of that. Basically, the argument was I called him basically a sadistic, woke race hater, And look, I see your point of view. I see your argument. It doesn't mean that I necessarily. I think there is. We are a welfare state. There are. And an open border in a welfare state doesn't work. And I understand that. I believe we only really had a strong border in 1924 when prohibition was in its strength. Before that, people used to come and go through the border kind of as they please. And then once prohibition took off, they started to develop a border. Could be wrong on that, but that's my my understanding. Go ahead.
Well, that sounds like there were some more important things at play around that time. If you look and see what was happening in the late 1920s, and then of course in 1933 when FDR consecrated America in his inaugural speech, that was the change right there. We went to a birth certificated system, but in 1933. So I mean, there's a lot of things you can point to, but I'm going to say all of the political things that were being done, including all of the landmark lawsuit cases that were happening, all played into how to define this new deal, this new system we were heading towards. And and of course, people were I think they're still highly confused about what the Civil War was actually over.
Well, I wasn't there, and again, my history begins at the moment of my fertilization and will end with my death. And anyone who wants to stigmatize me or objectify me is going to be my enemy. And if you post bullshit like that, I'm going to call you out on it. I may disagree with some of what you say, but it's not this hyperbolic bullshit that this dude posted. And I think he's a woke. I think he's a woke leftist, and I'm going to call him out on his bullshit. Look, I'm not pro or anti-immigrant. I have a moderate stance on that. But right now, again, I don't know if it's really a good idea, and I don't, there will be negative impacts on something like that, particularly when we are going through possible economic crisis, and we do have a welfare state. And wealth is something that is created by man. Poverty is part of nature. Our species evolve in poverty, and we all want to go to the developing world. And is it intelligent to have the undeveloped world come to the developed world? And I've said this many times before. Woke leftism promotes white guilt and the racial abuse of whites. I believe that thoroughly, and not just in America, but throughout the civilized world and throughout the Anglosphere. Do you have anything to say? You have any response to what I just stated?
Yeah, because if you go back and look at how the Civil War was Rome staking claim, and I think everyone was bamboozled, but especially melanated people were conned into thinking that civil rights were actually giving rights to people of color, when in fact those persons of color were in fact corporations. And it's exactly what we're dealing with right to this very moment. And I think as people start to realize that, and just as you said, if on a mass scale, I mean, if I don't know if you realize this, but if everybody woke up tomorrow and said that we have but one life that starts that begins at fertilization and ends with our final breath, if everybody said that with a true understanding of the implication of what that means, that the entire system would completely collapse tomorrow. But people are fully vested, man. They're people decided they chose trinkets over hard work and in a meaningful way of life. And we're really suffering from that now. I think we're really starting to feel it, but once people, anyways, yeah, I'll stop with right there.
I just believe that conquest is part of nature. And back in the day, People used to conquest through force. Today, they practice the conquest ethic through what they would call democracy and votes. They vote to take away the property of others.
I'm not sure where in nature conquest is a thing.
Look at the animal kingdom. The lion conquers the the gazelle or the deer or any other animal that cannot or any other animal that basically is defenseless against its attack.
Are you implying that they murder, or or are you implying that they merely do what they do to survive?
They do what they do to survive, but it's still, nature is cruel, and human nature itself is cruel. I mean, we're animals ourselves, so we do what animals do to survive. We may be crafty about it. We may pontificate and think that we're noble, but at the end of the day, we're animals, man.
But we are conscious, and there's a major difference between what's projected, promoted, taught. I mean, that the education would blow your mind if you went to a history class today and started looking at what they're learning and how they learn, and how different it is from the information that we were given. I mean, there is some insane, just mind blowing differences that, yeah. At what point are people just going to be like, "Whoa, wait, what, what is this education, this so-called education system giving us here?" That's another topic for another day. But you see the ocean, go back over it.
Well, he can go back across the ocean too. I mean, he went across the Bering Straits, but if he wants to take a boat to his original land, he could do that too. Does it matter who got there first? Was it a race or was it a war? And that, I mean, it's, again, human beings are animals, and we can try to justify it and intellectualize it. But at the end of the day, if there's one piece of food and it's between me, you, and a couple other guys, there's going to be, and it's for survival. You're going to fight for that survival. That's what politics is too. It's about survival. And this dude is trying to say it's about nobility. But if there's limited food and limited resources, you'll see folks going back to their savage roots. And this dude tries to claim that, I think he's trying to claim that he's something more than a savage. And again, when you try to do that, then the real savage comes out. When you try to be sanctimonious and fake, that's when the real savage comes out. That's when the real egotist comes out.
But this is all part of a construct that you're explaining that is not in nature. And so I don't see conquest. Okay, the lion is stronger and bigger and territorial. It knows what it is and what it can do, but it can be defeated. But so it's not out to conquest is that's a tough thing to prescribe as part of nature. I'm not. I would have to really look into that a little deeper. I don't see that. I don't see it that way at all. But and when you factor in the programming and everything that we've seen, been exposed to, and of course, doing things the American way, There is no American way. There's just life.
The strong extract from the weak, and the weak surrender what they must.
I mean, this sounds like you watched reruns of Dallas or Falcon Crest. What's wrong with you? We're in nature. Is that reality?
The lion is stronger than the elk. The elk surrenders to the lion by dying and being food.
Food. That's not conquest. That's survival.
When there are limited resources,
everybody has the ability to go plant the seeds, but we're just lazy, you know. I have a terrific garden this year, so I can brag.
Hopefully some tasty dishes. But again, we always want more. And I wouldn't even say, I mean, selfishness is also part of human nature. Human beings by nature are selfish. They're egocentric. And you should always recognize that aspect in your behavior. If you don't recognize those things, you're being blind, and sometimes you're being willfully ignorant of your own thoughts and your own beliefs. We all have an animal inside of us, a raging beast, and if you don't control it, and society doesn't put some form of, hey, stop, you can't be a beast, then that's going to be let loose. And again, we're not allowed to even examine these facts because the internet is controlled by the left in this country. So the public square and the court of public opinion is controlled. I think most people, though, kind of know what's going on. Those that are like not myopic and can see past their own nose know what's going on, and know what's going on to them and those around them.
Shout out to Mystic Nicole. She's somehow listening to us out there. Hello, Mystic Nicole. You're muted.
I'm not seeing any comments, Joey. Not for Mystic Nicole. Is Mystic Nicole? Is it in the chat? Because I'm not reading anything on the chat.
Oh yeah, no, she just sent me a message saying like she was listening to us. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Nicole. We got people out there that are listening. It's amazing to me. But I know Stabby McHugs is a big fan. He told me today that he loves me, and then he called me some choice words. But there are people listening, and I'm moving into this kind of phase, I guess, or this part of my life where time is such a factor, and that I don't want to waste time on meaningless things. But to me, I've always felt that communicating in any kind of way it has some benefit to it, and so I've always enjoyed trying to develop my thoughts with other people, and I'm hoping that we continue to do these shows to larger and larger audiences over time. The energy that it brings is an incredible thing. So, yeah, I'm glad that we still have some reach, even though we haven't been too consistent with our shows.
No, but I wanted to say that the native sadist says, "Let's meet face to face and stop being a keyboard warrior." What's the purpose of meeting you face to face? If you believe in what you say, and I believe in what I say. What is the point of meeting face to face? You're not going to change my opinion, and I'm not going to change yours. I mean, I guess you could torture me, and or I can torture you, and I'll say whatever you want if you want me to be a slave. But I'm not going to be a slave to you. I'm not here to prove my manhood to you. I'm here to, hey, I say you're a sadist. I say you're a race sadist. That's what I believe. Until I'm proven else, otherwise, you're a race sadist, buddy. So you want to meet me face to face because you want to do me harm because I'm calling you out on what you are. I'm calling you out on your hatred for people of European descent, and you don't like it. Well, too bad. I'm not going to be obedient to you. I'm not your little slave. I'm not your monkey. It's so humorous. Like today, you call people out and tell them what they are, and then they want to do you harm because, particularly leftists, they want to do you harm when you call them out on their BS and their nonsense, and you call them out on how vicious and vindictive and cruel they are if you go against them. The one thing that the one angry Jew, Howard, said that was correct, these people are a bunch of Pol Pots, man. They want obedience. And again, he thought I was some kind of Trump supporter or make America great again. No, I'm just a man, just like you. And you can't challenge my ideas. You want to get violent. And I'll resist you or I'll flee you. And if I resist you, it would be with every means at my disposal to resist you. I'm not into that John Wayne stuff. I'm too old for that. That's childish nonsense. Anyway, Joe, do you have anything to add before we end this show?
Man, I'd like to see that guy come on our show and talk to you one to one. I for one would like to see it. I know you may not want that, but I would like to hear you two have it out. I think that this is a bit of a it's horrible right now with the groups that are allegedly in charge or have some sort of economic or corporate power. Give me a break. Give me a stinking break. Ooh, and they do piss me off. And I hear these arguments from these people that representatives of groups. I don't know. I find it all kind of ridiculous, and I would like to hear you have it out with this guy.
The offer's there. Put your ideas forward, man. Put it up there. I accuse you of being a race sadist. What do you say? I accuse you. I accuse the woke left of being sadistic. I accuse you. And by the way, I define woke as moral authoritarianism disguised as virtue. And they may go back to the original meaning. But what something was and what it is are two different things. These people have become perverted, and they're vile, and they're cruel, and they're often very evil and very sadistic. If you don't obey them, they want to punish you. And I just point that out. In my opinion, you should go after them economically. Boycott, blacklist, and find your own forms of economic endeavors. Do an alternative economy, those that respect you. Because, in my opinion, if my ideas don't exist, then my money shouldn't exist either. Joe, what else do you have to say before I end this puppy?
All we got, but we need some subscribers. So subscribe and like and comment and join us and come back for more.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below.